All right, look it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, all right? But I'm not here to give you a narrative. I'm not here to shove something like that down your throat. I don't have a sheet of paper or anything right here that's pre-planned and structured to give you what you want to hear. All right, this ain't MMA junkie. All right, I don't stage fights like Ariel Hawani. I give you the truth and nothing but the truth. And where do you go for something like that? Mexican martial arts and Wikipedia. All right, let me give you the facts because that's all I'm going to give you right here. I don't have any interest to give you anything else but the facts. And the facts laid right here before me: a Nissan Gibb, Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, Tyrone Woodley, and soon to be Anderson Silva. Jake Paul's got a higher body count than Taylor Swift. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right, let's say 5-0. A Nissan Gibb, Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, Tyrone Woodley. All right, 5-0. Let's put some respect on it. All right. I don't want to entertain any levels of disrespect right here. Let's appreciate the sport. All right, 5-0. Let's appreciate the work that's been put in, the effort put in. Let's not play games here. I'm talking about 5-0. We're talking about a legend. All right. Let's look at Anderson Silva's boxing record because we're talking about boxing, right? Or did somebody want to talk about BJJ? Or did you want to talk about Taekwondo or Muay Thai? Or are we talking about boxing? Are we talking about boxing? Because if we're going to talk about BJJ, Muay Thai, and kickboxing, and Taekwondo, we might as well talk about how good of a soccer player Silva is. How good of a football player is he? Is he good at arm wrestling? Is he good at playing Super Smash Bros? What are we talking about? Are we talking about boxing or not? Because if we're talking about boxing, let me see what I'm looking at. Osmar Luis Texeria lost off the bat. Anderson Silva lost that one. All right, let's go on to the second one. Julio Cesar de Jesus. All right, I don't know. He KO'd him back in 2005. Okay, good for you. I think that was before he even went into the UFC. Number 3, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., aka a bomb, a can. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., I was telling you back when it happened. I think I streamed that one, if I'm correct. I couldn't believe that the way that people were talking about that, the way they were covering it, when he finished that match, they're acting like that fool was Rocky Marciano. Are you kidding me? Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We're not talking about Julio Cesar Chavez. I think some people get it twisted. I think some people that aren't really embedded into the sport, we're talking about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Do you know why they call him? You got to do your due diligence right here. Do you understand why they call him Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? It's not because he's that fool's son. It's like when you're talking about a junior bacon cheeseburger. It's to emphasize the less than. It's the minimal value. You can't just slap a name on it like that, like Julio Cesar Chavez, and think it's good to go. We're talking about Julio Cesar Junior Bacon Cheeseburger here. He's a bomb. And then we're talking about Tito Ortiz. Tito Ortiz. I'm going to leave that one alone. We're talking about 3-1. And look at the resume. Tito Ortiz. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's already laughing. And then we're talking about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And then before that, we're talking about Julio Cesar. I've never heard of him. And then a loss. And you're putting that up against 5-0. And it's not just 5-0. And not just 5-0. We're talking about Tyrone Woodley. We're talking about Tyrone Woodley again. And you look at his resume. Don't look at it toward the end. Just ignore that part. But look at his resume as a whole. Champion. We're talking about Ben Askren. Now it's easy to laugh about that fool now. It's easy to crack jokes now. But if you're looking at it objectively, if you're looking at resumes, Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren. Jake Paul has carved a spot for himself in the boxing world, in the boxing community. You know what it is? It's the legend killer. That fool's the Randy Orton of the boxing world. He's the legend killer. And it's every day, bro. And if you don't know what that means, that's probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing. I'm going to admit that I've gone too deep. I know too much. He's the legend killer of the boxing community. And I know we're just like a generation removed. For a lot of people, talking about Anderson Silva is like talking about John Jones. And to me, that's humorous because they're both steroid users. But to a lot of people, they look at them with high esteem and lots of respect and lots of reverence and stuff like that. Chuck Fury at FuriousComedy.com. That's why I call the Weasel Beanie Jr. I like it. It makes a lot of sense. That's on his Wikipedia on the corner, his nickname, Beanie Jr. You know, I know this fight is unfair to you. This matchup isn't fair to a lot of the viewers here. Because it's going to make a lot of you have to shut up. I have to take back a lot of the things that you said, but I have to admit it's not fair. Because we're still not talking about a boxer here. When he beat Julio Cesar Jr. Bacon Cheeseburger, it was a split decision. A split decision. He couldn't even put that can away. Ray. What's up, Ray? Why do people think Anderson's going to bring, what is he going to bring to the table? He's basically 60. Have y'all seen Jake Paul's chin? No way he's getting rocked. Jake Paul first round KO. That's what I'm saying. Now look it. Sometimes I have to stop and clarify for people. Am I a Jake Paul fan? No. I'm not a Jake Paul fan. I'm not a fanboy. I'm a fan of reality. I'm a fan of the truth. I'm over here giving you reality while fools have their head in the fools out here trying to live in that virtual reality, trying to live in that Zuckerberg. I'm in actual reality. I'm just trying to tell you what I'm looking at right here in front of my face. People clowning because it's Wikipedia. You can't edit it. I tried. I can't even get in there. People don't like to take it seriously just because it has an edit button. Try to get in there. It's not a game. This stuff is highly regulated and it's to be respected. Alexander Sass. Good to see you, GM. MMA Guru has been absent lately. Oh, snap. Put out a search party. He's been absent. I wonder what happened. That guy is always on the grind. Like Alex Stein and everything. That fool's always putting in work. I'm shocked. Hopefully he's all right. It's an unfair matchup because of the pedigree, the reputation, the legacy, aside from the cheating and the steroids. A lot of people hold this man, Anderson Silva, in high esteem. And when Jake Paul beats him, it's going to be hard for you guys to keep talking papas. But I understand because Anderson Silva is not a boxer. I mean, I guess it's up for debate. If anyone has ever stepped in a ring for a boxing match, if we're going to call him a boxer or not. I don't know. He's had 4 fights. Okay. But you see what he's done in the ring. You see what Jake Paul has done in the ring. You got Anderson Silva barely sliding by with a split decision over Julio Cesar Jr. Bacon Cheeseburger. Not the original, not the OG. We're talking about the prodigal son right here. We're talking not even the good son. And then we're talking about Tito Ortiz. You can't even think about that one without laughing. Tito Ortiz. And then the other two that we don't even know, one of them he lost to against 5-0. The fool's only getting stronger. He hasn't even reached his prime. He's a young individual. We got Anderson Silva over here. Is he already in the UFC Hall of Fame, or you can't get in there if you had steroids? No, John Jones just got in there, so he can. He can. But he's obviously in a different spot in his career. That fool's in the back end already. Tony Tiger 3003 GM. I saw that Khabib won't take bet money. I relent. I'm gonna tell you something too, and look, I don't get as much publicity, all right? I don't get the respect put on my name. I don't get the articles and everything. I've had betting agencies hit me up to do sponsorships, and I said, Kale, because look, I'm not trying to judge anybody or whatever, but I know what that could lead to, and I didn't want to I don't want to do the same thing. I didn't want to cause fools to stumble, So me and Khabib we're kind of like the same guy. But people aren't writing articles about the Grandmaster. Go figure. Do MMA truthers. Assemble! I mean, that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm not rocking the Jake Paul merch or anything like that. That's not how I get down. That's not what this is about. This is just trying to speak some truth into the community. James Dallow, first DC, now Anderson. We about to fall out, homie. He's getting in these fools' heads. And look it, I got major love for DC. You guys already know this. And some of you probably going to think, even those of you that have been agreeing with me up to this point, probably think I'm going to be stepping over the line right here. And I respect that because I got mad love for DC. But if DC just wanted to put the gloves on, if he just wanted to put the gloves on and go toe-to-toe with Jake Paul, hey, it doesn't matter who I got mad love for. Am I going to respect the sport or not? Am I going to look at it like what it is or not? We seen DC when he tries to go toe-to-toe, when he tries to prove a point with his two fists. We see what happens. And Anderson's willing to get in there. I don't know if they're going to test him or not. And then it goes both ways. Maybe Jake Paul's dirty. I don't know. I don't know how the boxing commission and all that goes. Everybody been talking about boxing's been dirty for years. It's been dirty way before UFC even learned how to get dirty. But I don't know. A lot of people say it's all right as long as both sides are dirty. Then it's all good. It's all fair and love in boxing. Koki 007. Charles beats Makachale. Change my thoughts. Look, I respect that. I was rocking with Oliveira for the longest. I was the one that declared he would be champion before it even happened. I was a big fan. But I think Makhachev's going to take the win. I'm not putting big money on it. I'm not going to cry if it doesn't happen or anything. I'm just saying Oliveira's always out there trying to be that Brazilian zombie. The fool gets hit too much. I think he welcomes the hits. I think it's part of his game plan. But Makhachev hits hard and that fool hits often. And I think Oliveira's going to take one too many. Even if he feels like he could weather that storm, I think the ref's going to stop it. I think it looks real ugly and real messy when Oliveira takes those hits, especially from a solid beast like Makhachev. I think it's going to get stopped. Random Guy 23, Jake Paul out here taking legend souls. Is Tate next? Shout out to Infamous Fight Cartel, Greenville, South Carolina. Spinning like a helicopter. I think I shouted out the wrong Carolina. Infamous Fight Cartel, Greenville, South Carolina. I don't know. After a name like Silva, maybe Jake Paul's just letting Tate build it up a little bit more, get more of a social media presence going again since he got pulled from all these different platforms. And then after he gets through Silva, then it's Tate. And I know that's a good game plan for Jake Paul because that's why he wanted Fury. Because that fool's big in a different land. He was on the reality show and everything, brings in a demographic. Tate was big in his homeland, different demographic. I need some more coffee. Boots and cats, different demographic. So he's playing the game. He's being very strategic and everything. He's being smart about it. But I saw that announced this morning. When I woke up, I saw that announcement, and I thought that's going to be heartbreaking for a lot of individuals because I know a lot of people got mad love for Silva, and a lot of people like to hit on Jake Paul, and he's going to run right through him. You look at the resume, you look at the attributes, you look at the speed, you look at the power, you look at the ages. What are you doing? What are you doing? Anderson Silva must need the money. He knows what it's going to do. He probably respects Jake Paul. He respects the hustle. He knows that he's going to be gatekeeping. He's going to let the door open. He thinks he's doing good for the sport. I don't know. But this ain't MMA. We can't be talking about his attributes and his title run and everything that he's done and bring that into the boxing ring. It's not going to happen. Did it happen for Ben Askren? Did it happen for Tyron Woodley either time? Did it happen for Nate Robinson? Did they let him come into the ring with the basketball? It doesn't happen like that. You come into the ring like this, and that's all you got. What's his? I can't even remember his name. I'm already laughing about the fact that it happened, and now I'm gonna tell you about it. I can't even remember his name. Chris Weidman. I couldn't even remember what his name was. Chris Weidman is the fool that ended this whole thing, this whole history, this whole span, this whole run, this whole legend. Chris Weidman. Let's see Chris Weidman versus Jake Paul at this point. Chris Weidman ended it. And we're talking about Silva versus Jake Paul. It's inhumane. I just want to know if people are going to be real or not. I want to know if people are going to be honest. And I want to know when this fight is over. When this fight is over, and he runs through Anderson Silva, and he gets his hand raised, and he's 6-0, and you got Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva on there. What's going to be the conversation? What's going to be the conversation? Is it still going to be, it's not a real guy, it's not a real, even at this point, what, okay, and part B, I need you to tell me, because you can run your mouth day and night. He hasn't done enough. He hasn't fought the right guy. He's still a joke. He's not, okay, you could do that till the cows come home, all right? What I need you to tell me, you're going to be running the mouth anyway. Here's how I want you to run it. What does he need to do? What does he need to do? Because you can naysay all day and night. What does he need to do? Give me something. What can he do to please you? So then when he does it, I could come back to this. Conor McGregor was never my friend. If Jake Paul pulls this one off, he'll really be a legend killer. He's putting himself on the map for sure. I love the JP experiment. I'm telling you, that's what it's going to be. But some fools are still going to be running the mouth. So for you individuals out there, I want to know, what does he have to do? I'm going to make a list. I'm going to look at this chat. I'm going to make a spreadsheet. And then when he does all those things, I'm going to be coming back to your usernames. I'm going to say, what's up now? Elijah Rudin, they should have let Nate take a basketball in. That fool could have went in there at least trying to play dodgeball or something. Give him some kind of a chance. But I'm talking to you fools right now. I'm going to be looking at the chat. I'm going to be putting it in a spreadsheet. I'm going to print it out, and I'm going to put it on my wall. I want to know, okay, it's not enough for you. What does Jake Paul need to do to get your respect? And once he's done it, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to be saying, what's up?